Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at Shib. We'll make a quick video. We don't need to beat around the bush too much. It's my daughter's 7th birthday today, which means I've been up since basically the moment I went to bed. So we're going to think about Shib and what it is and what it's doing. So we're looking at this on a weekly. What do we see? The descending triangle breakout above all moving averages looks pretty good to me. It is a breakout. It doesn't mean that it has to immediately rally up. A breakout, I suppose, can take a while to fulfill. It's not one of those things. I know what happens. You see a chart like this, and this is quite a clear-cut chart, which is why I've made videos on it recently. And we had a good experience of buying it down here, getting this rally. So I've decided to take it seriously when I see it do something. So this is a clear breakout above all moving averages. We're currently above every single one on the daily and on the 4-hourly, and I think even on the 12-hourly, across the board for everybody. We don't have any setups on the Itchy Cloud, not yet. We'd need to get a little higher than that, basically closing above this area, this major resistance. But until then, it's still a breakout. We've broken out the formation. We're above all moving averages. 250 are diverging, which basically means strength to the upside. And we look like we want to maybe make a positive cross above the 0 point at some point, hopefully, if we get a little higher price than this over the next few days. That'll give the momentum to continue up as well. Now, you've got each one of these targets. The first target was already met, 1. You got the next one up here, 325. You get another one up here, big one, 35. And then obviously higher and higher and higher if it keeps going, which it could. It is a meme coin after all. It can do that. But you know, to hold out for like a bazillion X on something like this is probably not very realistic. But to think about, I suppose, the formation trade, which is each one of these areas. We've got 9%, you've got 27%, you've got 39%, to a max target of about 80%, based on what we see. So that looks good. And just because, like I say, it's broken out, doesn't mean that you spot the chart. Oh, it's a breakout trade. Press buy. Okay, I've pressed buy. Why hasn't it mooned immediately? Patience is required. Time is as important as a setup. Did you know that pretty much every single indicator that's ever been made ever involves either price, volume, and time, or a combination of those three things? So, you know, that's an important component. So you got price. Okay, we're looking at price. Volume. Yeah, we've checked volume. Time. Okay, that's something that we can't speed up. We have to just remain within time. Okay, so we have to allow for time. And so that's the problem here that a lot of people are having. You just need to accept that time needs to go. We just need to sit. Time has to play out. It's time. So the setup is still valid. It's still good. It's good. Like I say, weekly above all moving averages, daily above all moving averages, 4-hourly above all moving averages, apart from the 7 simple, which is where we've been rejected from. No big deal. Who cares about the 7 simple? It's not a big deal. You get a retest of the 7 simple normally after a big move, and we had that over the last 24 hours, 15% from the bottom, retested it. Rejected from it, but we're above these, and so you'd be looking for each one of these to be a support. Maybe the 10 is where you're going to get it, 255. Maybe the 21 or the 50, 253. Maybe the Bollinger Band Center or the 200, 25 flat. Doesn't really matter. Each one of these is basically a support that you could think about. Same thing with the 4-hourly. I mean the 12-hourly. Nice retest of the 200 exponential. Nice rejection of the 200 simple. There is rhythm here. We don't have anything on the Itchy Cloud on this one either. But again, supports all the way down. So there's lots and lots of supports all the way down to 25 flat. So I like it. I like what I see. I'm still in this trade, and I would advise against derivatives, margin trading, leverage trading on something like this. You don't need it. We're talking about an upside move. So if it was to go up and we measure those targets, they're all pretty generous targets. You don't need a bazillion X. I know that that's what people like to do, but you might get yourself wrecked. And there's no need to get wrecked when you're likely to just win if you were to hold this anyway, because time is the problem. It's not the setup. So you can have volatile moves like you had this one here, bang bang. That was pretty nasty in hindsight, really. There's a 22% move from the top to the bottom, enough to liquidate people, and then back up to the top, about 14% up at the moment from here to here. So it looks good to me. I like it. So let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. So I was expecting a new all-time high yesterday. We didn't get it, but we did get a revisit of the major resistance, 71,500. So it wasn't too bad. It was all right, but we didn't get the breakout. If you break out from here, it's straight up to a new all-time high. So maybe we're going to get it today. Let's have a look at momentum. Looks good to me. Positive cross above the 0 point, diverging. Breakout of money flow index, breakout of RSI. It all looks good on the daily. 4 hourly, same as Shib, sitting on the 10 exponential. Could easily come down to 70,000 as well. Get a support above there. But unlike Shib, we've actually got a decent setup with Itchy Cloud. So you've got the pump signal, which I would argue has already played on that 4 hourly. So let's check the other time frames to see if we've got anything going on there. This one's been going for a little while, so you've got that's fine. That's the same as it was. Same thing with the daily. So there's pump signals across all time frames on Bitcoin. This is a really bullish chart. Okay, it's a very, 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 very bullish chart. So Bitcoin is likely to steal the show, to be honest with you, if it breaks out. But Shib is still a good setup. It doesn't take away from the fact that that is a good setup. It's a breakout setup. And I would imagine that Shib will outperform Bitcoin, generally speaking, anyway, from this level and beyond. It doesn't, but that also means that when it finally finishes and reaches wherever it's going to go, it's going to come down pretty hard as well. So just remember that. But yeah, it was a video about Shib, just to reiterate that it is a breakout, and the breakout is taking place at the moment. It just doesn't feel like it because the price hasn't really moved. But everything, more or less everything, is ripe for the move. Anyway, I've got to go and carry on with this 7-year-old's birthday. I don't want to take up too much more of your time either. So I'll leave it with you there, and if you want to know more, join the Patreon. We're doing a live stream tomorrow night, as we do every Tuesday and Friday. So I'd love to see you there. Links in the description. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day and take it easy.